So we're 10 games into the season, so we will be recapping that. But first off, let's check how the other teams have done in Europe and how the rankings have been affected as most of Europe gets prepped for a new season.
This is just an intro, you better believe it. Jesus, that was bad. Yep, welcome to the series.
So welcome to this episode. In today's episode, I say we are going to be checking out the rankings. Now, please let me know how you think it's been going. And please comment below, let me know that you are enjoying the series, because I am trying to boost the comments per videos and just get YouTube thinking that this content is actually worth promoting to other people. So this much appreciated if you can go down and do that. So first off, we're going to recap how it's gone so far this season. So as you can see, we are 10 games into the season and it's been decent. Now, I was a bit stressed because we've got a new tactic going, and how was it looking? How were we doing? Was I pleased with how we were doing? But we always start very slowly, so I've got to be pleased with how we've done and how many points we put on the board so far this season. Our first month was just all green, 100% green. You can see we beat odds 1-0 on the opening day, before 2-0 victory over Rosenborg, 2-1 away to Sandnes, and then a 3-2 victory over Molde. So us win 4 out of 4 in our first month of April. Now going into May, we beat Grerud 2-1 before a 1-1 at home to Werder Glimt. Back-to-back defeats sadly, Vålerenga 2-0, and then Stabæk 1-0. Both very, very disappointing. Both had me a bit concerned, but we did bounce back with a 6-0 over Niemark in the Cup, 2-0 over Brann, and 5-1 over Fredrikstad, where you can see we dominate 70% possession. Now, with this new tactic, we are absolutely dominating the ball, so I'm really pleased with that. And we have just played Rade and beat them 7-0, and Flora and got a 3-1 victory. So far this season, after 10 games, we have won 7, drew 1, lost 2. With 22 points, we are joint top of the table, and I've got to be pleased with that. And in terms of team detail, possession-wise, in the first 10 games, we've averaged 61% possession, which I've always got to be pleased with. Now, as always, we seem to struggle with the goals. We're currently in 8th place with 18 goals scored. Hopefully, that can push on and improve, and we can get away from that mid-table of goal scoring. I want to be one of the highest scorers in the league, and we do need to push on and start doing better there. Defensively wise, how are we doing? I think we're one of the best. Yeah, so we have the third best goal difference, conceding only 9 goals so far this season. So as you can see, the tactic is still continuing. I've adjusted a little bit, called it Ike as well now, because that's been a bit more adjusted for the players that we have and the team I have. Instead of just being a tactic, I moved over from another save I was doing. 2 wide centre-backs, both on support now. It maybe is a bit too offensive, and maybe there's something I will look at adjusting going forward. We dominate in the midfield with these two pushing up, but we do get caught with counter-attacks quite a lot only on one defender back. So I need to find a way to balance that, continuing the domination with the ball, but just maybe not stopping them counter-attacks a little bit. So let's have a look at the rankings then. So our league itself, the Elite Series, has remained in 11th place in the competition rankings at the minute. We ourselves have moved up 2 places to 36th in the European club rankings. And in terms of the actual Nations Club coefficients, we remain in 8th place ahead of Denmark. And going in next season, we will start with 5 points, 5.1 points more than Denmark. So I think we've pretty much secured in 8th place at the minute. I do still think we need to be closing down Portugal. They are losing a 15.6 season. We are losing a 12.5, so that's positive for us. But we do need to have a very successful season. We need the other teams to be having successful seasons as well. So Werder Glimt have been in the Europa League, and as you can see, they went through against AEK in the first qualifying round they took part in, which was the second qualifying round. Then they played Zulte Waregem from Belgium and got a 3-0 victory before 2-2. They then played Elfsborg of Sweden, knocking them out comfortably 6-1 on aggregate before going into the league phase. And they started really badly here. As you can see, defeated Benfica, draw against Malmo, draw against Karabag, before losing to Sevilla, Bayer Leverkusen, Brøndby, and then going on to this season, They've drew to Hacker before losing to Young Boys. So, yes, they made to the Europa League group stage, but I expect Glimt to be doing better than that. And if we need to push on, and well, if we need to push on and get level on points with Portugal, overtake them, close down the Netherlands, we need teams like Glimt to just be a bit more successful in Europe to help us out a little bit. Like I say, we got to the knockout stage of the Champions League. We hope other teams in the league can be successful. So Valerenga, they came up against Radomeja. They from Slovenia. I was going to say Bosnia. I apologise. 5-1 victory saw them through to the, what's that called? Third qualifying round in the Europa League, isn't it? So then came against Bate Borisov of Bulgaria. 3-0, just not Bulgaria, it's Belarus. 3-0 victory, then a 1-0 victory before coming up against Stuttgart and somehow knocking them out. So Valerenga knocking out a club from Germany, losing 3-1 in Germany before 3-0 victory at home saw them into the Conference League group stage. And I'm impressed with what I'm seeing here. So starting against Arsenal at home, 0-0 draw. Away to St. Patrick's Athletic, 1-0. Should have probably won that. Elfsborg at home, away from home, 1-0. Pionic away from home, 1-1. Before back-to-back victories at home against Vitória from Portugal and Maccabi Netanya from Israel. And then going on to the last two games. Oh no, that was the end of the group stage. Then they came up against Basel in the knockout round of 16. They did get smashed. 3-1 defeat away and then 1-0 at home, so 4-1 on aggregate. A bit of a drum in there. But they got to the round of 16, so fair play to Valerenga. Are they the most successful this season? I mean, I guess time will tell. So let's have a look then, shall we? Odds took part in the Europa League, came against Rapid Wien, and went straight out in the playoff round. So lost 1-0 away from home and 2-1 at home, so both legs defeats. Moving into the Conference League, they came up against Rijeka from Croatia and got 1-0 victory. Before Vitória came to Odds and Odds beat them 2-1. Travel away to Belgium, play Anderlecht, got 1-0 victory. Atalanta came to Norway and lost 2-1. Before back-to-back draws here against Petrolul and Strada. Saw them go into the round of 16 and go out to Zultia Waregem of Belgium, and that's disappointing. That's the type of team they should have knocked out. Going out 2-1 on aggregate in the round of 16, Odds was so close to making it to the quarterfinals of the Conference League, and that's the type of game that I hope in a year or two they are beating them teams. To be honest, really, really disappointing. So the final team to look at is Sogndal, who did qualify for Champions League qualifying. They came up against Malmo, and they were just too good for them. I think Sogndal getting to that point was too much for them. So they went out 3-0 on aggregate and moved into the Europa League qualifying. So in the third qualifying round, they played Alexandria, who are from the Ukraine, and they beat them 2-1 on aggregate before coming up against Trabzonspor from Turkey. A 1-0 victory away from home for 2-2 draw at home saw them go into the league phase of the Europa League. And they did well. Hacker victory 3-1, Lech Poznan 2-1, draw away in Holland against NAC, defeat away to Aston Villa and at home to Marseille, nothing to be laughed at, before a victory over Besiktas. Now, the group stage ended with defeat to Benfica and a victory over Rapid Wien before they came up in the knockout round against Celtic and went out 3-2 on aggregate. So it's not bad. That means, including us, 4 teams from Norway got into the knockout rounds of the Europa League, Conference League and Champions League. And if we can do that every season and 1 or 2 of us progress 1 round or 2 rounds, it's a massive amount of points and will be a huge boost for the nation as we look to continue to improve this builder nation. Because one of the things I do want to look at is the fact that we are here at the minute and going one place further and overtaking Portugal will see a team go straight into the group stage of the Europa League, as well as a team starting a third qualifying round, the Conference League, instead of the second qualifying round. So that one step further is a big change. A team going automatically into the group stage of the Europa League is huge. That is huge. So I do want to hope to see that happen in the next 2 seasons. I think in the next 2 seasons I would like to go in the 7th, and then maybe another 2 seasons after that, overtake the Netherlands, and then you're chasing down France and Germany. Then you are playing with the big boys. So just a quick look then. Our top goal scorer so far this season is Duric, who has 9 goals in 15 starts from attacking midfield. Samari has 8 in 13. Pinker with 5. Now, one thing I would say is Duric did pick up a hat-trick in a cup game, so maybe them stats are a bit skewed, but we'll take it. We will take it. In terms of assists, it's Brun from central mid with 5 assists so far this season. And he's developing into quite a nice looking player, so we'll keep an eye on him, shall we, and see how he continues to develop. And the last thing to look at then in this episode is our under-19s, and we are currently sitting in 4th place, 1-9, drew 0, lost 6. So we don't like drawing games. We either win it or we lose it, but we're looking fairly decent. I'm fairly pleased with us. The fact that we never even nudging towards relegation. We are one of the top sides. We won it 2 years ago on our first season back up. We just keep developing, keep seeing what we can do. But in the next episode, then we will be looking at the summer transfer window, continuing to see how we are doing so far in the league, and continuing to keep an eye on how we are improving as a whole. I've been Paul, also known as the Northman, and I'll see you next time.